You only get so much Kentucky Downs a year, so let's maximize it by doing another cap in the card. Trust the profits, it's the formula here, and we're going to be capping the card for all races on Kentucky Downs on Saturday, August 31st. And we're recording this before we've seen Thursday's results. So, based on historicals, we're looking at anything that happened last year still. And we don't have the benefit of looking back in any 2024 results. Bummer. Yeah, I can't wait to get to those Kentucky Downs. They are fun to watch, fun to play. And once again, let's run through this again. Jockeys who won last year, both as a percentage and in totals. Totals, Tyler Gaffalione, 12 wins and 71 starts, by far the most starts, 20 more than the next closest, which is Joel Rosario, who had 7 wins and 51 starts. Still, even after having all those starts, Tyler Gaffalione, 17% win percentage, 41% in the money. Um, who else placed high percentage wise? Jose Ortiz, Christian Torres, 14 and 15% win percentage, respectively. And then we get to some outliers here: Liscano and Zayas in 15 and 20%, Chuan with 25%, but all those 13, 10, and 8 races, so really not a whole lot to go off of there. And the one thing also to note is Irad Ortiz, 11% win percentage, and he's used to being in the 20s. But at Kentucky Downs last year, in his sample size of 38 races, he was only able to get 4 wins. So that was a quick look at the jockeys. Also looking at the trainers, we know Brendan Walsh, Michael Maker, um, coming out strong. Michael Maker, a little bit of a down year, I would say. 53 attempts and 9%. Only 5 wins last year. The previous year, I don't know what the numbers are. I do remember he was hooking up quite a bit last 2 years ago in 2022. I'll have to check those numbers. I thought he had a lot more wins, but Brendan Walsh, 8 for 28. Gotta love that number, 29%. Brian Lynch, only 10 races, 10 horses entered, and 30%, 3 wins. But again, small sample size there, small sample size. Jonathan Thomas and Saffie Joseph Jr., who sometimes gets some flack for shipping outside of Florida with less success, did pretty well last year. 5 wins in 25 races, 20%, and a 48% in the money for him there. So let's just keep that all in mind as we're looking at these horses here. Um, yeah, let's start with race one. Let me blow that up here on my end so I can get a better idea of what's going on. Pace setter here, I'm going with the 13 horse, assuming the 13 horse is even in this race, question mark, I put there. And, no one really sticks out as being a true pace setter here. I got the 13 on there. You can see from my early pace tendency sits 2 tiers back. But there may have been 1 or 2 races where it looked like he was a little bit more forward. But again, we're dealing with maidens here. We don't have a lot to go on, and no one really stuck their nose out as being a pace setter here. So up for grabs. Safe play for me here at the top, Wonderland at 4-1, the number 5 horse, best in terms of class. Made up a lot of ground last time out, going 7 wide. So he had a difficult run there. So we're expecting to see a nice little rebound here from Wonderland at 4-1. Value play, pretty good value. Smartest at 6-1. Great closing numbers. As you can see, I've got Smartest as a 5 and a 6 on Wonderland. Second at the Colonial, first time out. Now it's Flavian Prat, so he's getting a little bit of a jockey upgrade there. So I do like the value getting out of that horse. We'll see what happens post time, because 6-1, it's borderline value play, right? Especially in a field this big. It's not huge value, but again, value starts to balloon as you add more horses, and a bunch of these will be scratched. We'll see what happens when the bettors start to get their way with this. Moving on to race two, where we at here? Pace setter for me here. I'm got a few. This is a shorter race. It's a 6 furlong race on turf. Looking at Rocky Joe, the number 2 horse. Looking at Cape Maelstrom, the 8 horse as well. There's a couple others in here who are pushing the pace. You look at the 16, assuming he gets in there. Go Captain, the 4. So shorter races, you end up seeing more horses that have been much more forward, easier way for them to get out in front and just take an easy win or take a quick win without having a battle with the back. So it's not shocking that you see a few here, but there could be a battle. My safe play, I'm going for the horse that I've got number 2 on my list here, number 5 Beer Run at 4-1. Very close between the two horses at the top here. It's My Life 7 and Beer Run. But Beer Run has been here before and has a jockey with some moderate Kentucky Down success and Jose Ortiz, as we talked about before. So I do like what you're getting out of Beer Run here. Not to say Tyler Gaffleone hasn't had a good run here, but I do like the fact that Beer Run has had some experience on Kentucky Downs turf and did fairly well here before. Value play for me, I'm going down one spot to Rock and Roll Bolt, 10 to 1. Good value here. 10 races, 8 times in the money, 80% in the money. Um, very good play there. Joel Rosario gets the nod. Got good closing numbers on this horse. So yeah, Rock and Roll Bolt at 10 to 1. Hard to pass that one up. Race 3, smaller field. Smaller field. My pace setter here, I've got 3 at the top there that are showing that they are just off the pace, but there's one that has a little bit of an advantage, and that's One Timer. And that's also my safe play at 2 to 1. The horse has been on fire lately and has gone gate to wire um, for a 4 length win at these Kentucky Downs before. Has success on the turf at Kentucky Downs. Larry Ravelli, trainer, nice little trainer there. My value play, I'll take the 3 horse, dropping down 2 below Stiletto Boy. Stiletto Boy, I didn't see a whole lot of turf action from. So I'm a little skeptical as to whether he can pull this off on Kentucky Downs or not. So I did pass up Stiletto Boy. Sousa Summer, on the other hand, at 8 to 1. Last 2 times out, looked bad in graded stakes. Before that, though, he was on fire, and he gets Tyler Gaffleone on the mount here. So maybe we'll see a change of pace here. He drops down in class a little bit. Maybe a smaller field, gets a different jockey. Maybe we see the Sousa Summer that we saw a number of races ago. And at 8 to 1, you're getting some pretty good value there. Race 4. Race 4, we got a 6 furlong race here, an allowance race. I've got about 3 horses that I could probably put on the pace here, the 13, the 9, and the 4. It looks like the 13, assuming he does race, and that's why I did the 9 and the 4 in here as well, is probably the pace setter. Probably gets a little bit of a pace advantage there, Glacial Power. But yeah, the 9 and the 4 could factor in as well. Safe play for me here is the 1 horse Committee of One at 9 to 2. Best win of the horses 1 through 12. Best value of a win there, best class. Strong push down the stretch. I do like that he's got a nice little stretch push there. Torres has been a good jockey at KD as well. So at 9 to 2, rated out very nicely for me there at the top. Value play, I'm going to look at Bay Lounge, 6 to 1. Again, I'm not sure at 6 to 1. Maybe that's one that jumps up a little bit um, once the people get a hold of the betting and can move that line a little bit. But Brocas Maiden at these Kentucky Downs with Joel Rosario. That was the only time that Joel Rosario had a mount here on Bay Lounge, and it happens again this race at the same park. So lightning strikes twice. We'll see. We'll see. So the horse has been good here. He's been good with the jockey. Hasn't had too many opportunities with the jockey, just the once, and it worked out well. Dunedin, the 16 horse here you see I have ranked second, is an interesting consideration if he doesn't get scratched. One here, not her, one here in 2022, didn't look as good in 2023, has had a few struggles here. Getting good value on a horse that has won at Kentucky Downs once before here at 15 to 1, though. So definitely a consideration if that horse doesn't get scratched, but it's probable that that horse will get scratched. All right, we go to race 5. The pace setter here for me is the 2 horse that I have ranked second to last. Um, Art Fair is the pace setter here for me. My safe play going all the way at the very top here at 3 to 1. Hit that review. Walsh, Gaffleone. Only other race closed from 6th to finish, 1 1/4 lengths back in 3rd place. So it's a horse that going into maiden special weight showed me something last time in terms of trying to claw his way back up to the front down the stretch, and really the only horse in this pack that showed a significant amount of closing power. There's a few that were far back but didn't really have the closing power you look for, and then there's half the field here is a set of firsters, and one of them, the 5 horse, I go pretty far down on here to grab the 5 horse. When you work firsters into a formula like this, it's very difficult to get the balance between the horses that have the history and the horses that are coming in the first time, because you're using some different metrics for each of those, right? It's a little bit flawed when you're looking at the firsters, but Michael Maker, Jose Ortiz at 15-1 in a field where there are a lot of firsters. There's not a whole lot of horses here that have a lot of history, or if they do, it's like a 1 or 2 race history. So Crooked Bullet, I'm really liking here. I think you get some good value out of Crooked Bullet. Bolt Oro, the sire here as well, if you want to throw that in as well. So at 15-1, Maker and Ortiz, that's a pretty good value play. Moving on to race 6, we're going at a nice little pace here. The pace setter for me here is Sammy. Easy for you to say. The 2 horse, I've got him sort of middle of the pack here. I have a feeling he's probably going to fade back at 15-1. Let's go back up to the top here, close to the top for my safe play. It's Top Gun Girl at 5-2. Set the pace and yielded to too many Twizzlers last year, but should be competitive in this race here. I do like this horse. 70% in the money. Wesley Ward. Velasquez has not been great, or was not great last year at Kentucky Downs, but I think he's got himself a pretty good horse here, pretty good potential. Value play for me here, though, is the 3 horse, dropping down 1 spot here to Off Ramp at 12-1. Mainly dirt, switched to turf when he switched trainers. Did run and switched to Joe Sharp. Did run at KD last year, not great, but he also got an upgrade at jockey here. So we're looking at Tyler Gaffalione as jockey. I know I'm picking Tyler Gaffalione a lot, but he's been successful here. Um, Switched to turf off the claim and won this year. So his last race, switched to turf, had a nice little win. So let's see what happens. Got a little bit of experience, getting an upgrade in jockey, and looking good on turf. So let's see if we can get some value out of that 12-1 play here. Race 7, assuming he runs, I've got One Front War as the pace setter, your 14 horse, and assuming he does run, I've got him as my safe play as well. He's an also eligible horse, but Maker and Ortiz, I like the combo there. Looks like a great combo. And this is a horse that, based on what I'm seeing here, potential gate to wire. Nearly did this the first time out at Woodbine. So if he is entered in and he gets a good start and he's on the outside and he climbs his way up to the front, possible gate to wire winner here. I didn't see a whole lot of fade from him the last time out. He still held on for an in the money finish, and only less than a length back of the winner as well. So the 9 horse stage presence moving down to stage presence at 12-1, going against the don't play JV philosophy. But I like the horse the third time out at this price, the 12-1 stage presence. And now we're at the Nashville Stakes. That's right. The pace setter here for me is Cugino. Almost went with Cugino here, but man, I can't pass up Carson's run. Shout out to our friend Carson, who joins the lounge at 9-2. This horse has been hot, 2 wins in a row. The horse can run the distance. Has run 10.5 furlongs at Saratoga. You got Rosario and Clement as the jockey trainer combo, so I really like that one. And Laganos. I like Laganos since the Derby Trail. Horse started on turf, moved to dirt, now he's back to turf. The only horse to race and win in Kentucky Downs is this horse. Broke his maiden there last year. So I like Laganos at 12-1 with the park experience. It's been doing better since he moved to turf. It's been having a few in the money finishes. Is it good enough for the Nashville Stakes? We will see. I'm curious to see how this horse does. All right, now we're moving on to the ladies turf sprint, race number 9. Got a whole bunch of horses here. You see a lot of green on the right there. See a lot of blue as well. So there's going to be a lot of pace pressure, as you would expect from a turf sprint. Ruby Nell, AG Bullet, the 1 and 3. Those are probably going to be your pace setters. But for me, the safe play is Dance Macabre. Winner in 2022, second place by a length in 2023 at 6-1. I think that's a really good safe play. I really like this horse a lot, the 11, Dance Macabre. The value play for me here, I'm going up to the 8 horse here at 8-1. Beat Dance Macabre last year at the Music City in the Kentucky Downs. You're getting better odds at 8-1 on Secret Money. So Dance Macabre, if you like that horse, probably going to like Secret Money as well. 2 seconds in the last 3 races. Walsh, Gaffleone, solid combo there. A 6-1 and 8-1. I like those. Race 10, the ladies' turf. I've got the pace setter here, and there are some pushing the pace horses as well, but I've got the 8 Spirit Glory with a couple other horses. If the 14's entered in, Dana's Beauty, as well as the number 2 Sacred Wish, and possibly below that, Walkathon, the number 6, could be applying pressure here. So it could be a pretty hot race for an 8 furlonger. But my safe play here, I'm going deeper in my picks here. I didn't go super high up top. I looked through this and I do like Implicated at 6-1. Perfect 2 wins in a row in 2 races since moving from Brown to Walsh. So I do like that effect here going into this race. And then for my value play, I will look at, and I'm going to play that game again, Sparkle Blue, second place last year in this race. 5 stakes races in a row with Jorge Ruiz. I can do this. 5 stakes races, 4 times in the money and 2 wins. So I do like the jockey here on the horse. Been having some good success coming to Kentucky Downs. I want to see how that plays out at 15-1 for Sparkle Blue. Let's wrap it up with a maiden special weight. The race 11 pace setter here, I believe, will be the 4 horse. I've got him ranked 4th on Command. The number 5 horse who I got at the very top with Flavian Pratt, bird watching at 9-2. Last race rates as the best of the bunch, in my opinion. And it's at this distance too. We are going 8 furlongs, 1 mile. Sits close to the pace. I think that's going to play out really well for bird watching here. And then finally, a value play. I will go down to the 9 horse, which I've got ranked 5th here, but I'll pull that one out as my value play at 20-1. I think there's great value here on the maker horse who shows some closing ability at 8 furlongs on turf. Third race since switching from Brown to Michael Maker here. So let's see if he can pull it out. I know he hasn't had a whole lot of success this horse. He did show 3rd place last time out. So maybe incremental improvements. Um, Umberto Rispoli as your jockey. We'll see how that works. So that's what I've got. I enjoy doing these. I enjoy Kentucky Downs quite a bit, as you guys can imagine. And I'm glad a number of you reached out to me and said, hey, let's try to do these for all the races. So I've got 2 out of the way right now. Let's see if I can pull off all, however many are going to be there. Was it 6, 7, something like that? Anyway, best of luck to you all. Good luck at the races.